What's good, YouTube? We're back with another video today, and this time we're going to be doing a filming and editing breakdown of an Apple Watch ad I shot in my living room. Now, full disclaimer, this is not sponsored by Apple, I wish it was. However, this is just something I did for fun in my free time. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and comment down below what you guys want to see in the next video, and maybe consider subscribing or following my Instagram for more. With that being said, let's play the video and we'll get into the breakdown. Okay, so let's start off by talking about the general setup I had for filming this. To start off, everything was filmed at 60 FPS and slowed down to 24 FPS in the timeline. And each shot was set up a little bit different, but it follows the same principle. I had two pieces of black foam board, one to put the watch on and one for the background standing vertically. And then wherever the light was, I had a piece or two of white foam board reflecting back towards the watch to give it a nice even and smooth lighting. Editor Eric here. One thing I forgot to really mention or explain was how I decided to mask these shots. In the second and fourth shot, I completely masked out the background to give it a nice black background that lined up well with the other shots. If this is something that you decide to do, I'd probably recommend using some sort of green screen or blue screen, as that'll make masking out the whatever object you're shooting a whole lot easier. Alright, so let's start off by talking about the first shot you see. So it's a pretty simple shot. I have the camera upside down on the tripod, a pretty zoomed in shot of the watch. And originally I was going for kind of swirling around the light. I didn't really like the look of that, so I just kind of went with the shot where there's no light and it's just focusing on the watch, and you kind of saw the hands and moving around on the watch. So the second shot you see is this kind of top-down shot of the watch where I'm panning up and down using my tripod as like a telescoping to kind of get a smooth pan in. As you can see, up in this upper left corner we have the light, and then I have two pieces of white foam board on the bottom right to kind of reflect back into the watch. It didn't work out too well because, as you can kind of see on the bottom, you get this shadow from the camera when you come in. But overall, I was pretty satisfied with this shot. So for the third shot you see, we have this spinning shot. We have the watch tied to the bottom of the tripod using some fishing line, and then we have the light in the bottom left corner, once again with the white foam board on the upper right to reflect back and get a nice clean lit shot. Camera set up and it's just centered on the watch. The shot is actually kind of a pain to take because, as you can tell, the watch isn't really staying centered as it spins. So that was a little bit difficult, but overall I was really happy with that shot and how it turned out. The last shot you see is this shot right here. Pretty simple shot with the watch just laying down and my camera just pointed at it. And as you'll see, I just kind of strobed the light up and down to create that kind of panning effect of the light, and it turned out pretty solid. Alright, so here we are inside the project, and we're going to go through and give you guys a little breakdown of how I went about editing all of this. So as you guys saw with the first shot, there's absolutely no motion in it. So what we did is we added a little scale keyframe from 0 to 100, and then we went and changed the velocity of it. If I pull this over, you guys can see, just to kind of give it something more exciting than just it sitting there. So here's a shot without any color grade, without any motion. And then here's a shot with the motion added. And finally, the color grade. So with this second shot, this is actually probably one of my favorite shots, but it did require a fair amount of work. So originally I wanted to kind of do a spinning pan and shot. However, that didn't really work out. And as I talked about earlier, how I had to mask out every shot, masking it with the spinning was way too difficult. So I just took a regular shot and added some rotation keyframes to it myself. So starting at -24 and then going all the way to the end where it's just back to normal. And I also had to add a warp stabilizer to this. I nested this shot and slowed it down. So that also helped a lot. So here's a shot right out of camera, no stabilization, no color grade, no scale or anything. And then when we add the keyframes and stabilization. And finally the color grade. So this third shot of the spinning shot, it actually didn't require too much work at all. All I had to do was recenter and scale in a little bit just to get it centered. And then just add a color grade. So we'll show you guys right out of the camera without any scaling or centering. And then the scaled and centering. And finally the color grade. And last up we have just the shot of the watch sitting still, panning the light across it. Once again, this really didn't require anything. All I did was just add a grade on top of it, so I'll show you guys it right out of the camera. And then with the color grade. Okay, so when it comes to color grading my footage, this is how I typically like to do it. I normally put an adjustment layer over top everything with a fairly general grade, adjusting the exposure, contrast, highlights, shadows. I didn't really do much with the curves this time, and adding a little bit of split toning. And then I'll go through for each individual shot and kind of tweak what needs to be done, just to kind of perfect it. And this kind of helps give me a similar grade over all my clips, at the same time minimizing the work that needs to be done. Okay, so last but not least, we have the sound design. This is probably the most important part. So let me go through and I'll play you guys it with just the sound design, no music. You guys can see how just the sound design alone really helps kind of pull the entire thing together. So let me kind of break down what I did. So on our second audio track, we have the song. And then our third audio track, we have a couple whooshes, sucks, those kind of sound effects. So this first one is just suck in for the first shot. Since you're zooming in, I think it worked really well. So going into the second shot, I found these mechanical noises sound effects. And I think they worked really well. So I added a default transition, constant power, just over the two to kind of help blend them together. And then for this third shot, the sound effect we'll once again have a constant power transition just to blend them together. And it's kind of this almost halo lens flare type sound effect that I think works well, especially when you have the light reflecting off the watch. And then lastly, for the last shot, we have this kind of dramatic, I guess once again, almost like a whoosh type sound effect for when the light shines on the watch. Coming down to the fourth audio track, we have just simple watch ticks. I had to actually speed them up a little bit. If you look, they're at 107%, just so it tied in with the beat of the song better and didn't kind of disrupt and pull away from that. Coming down to this fifth audio track, I had to start off another mechanical sound effect, which I slowed this one down to 50%. And I think it did a good job of tying in the second and the third shot and blended really well with that first mechanical sound effect. And then it goes into another kind of low, slow whoosh for the last shot. And then lastly, we have down the bottom, I had this open space right here in between the third and fourth shot, and it just felt a little bit empty, and I was looking for something to kind of put in there to tie it all together. So I decided to go with church bells, and I think they work really well. They're very subtle, it's really hard to notice, but I think it does an excellent job of filling in this little empty space right here. And then you go ahead and tie this all together with the music, and this is what you get. Okay guys, so that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Make sure you leave a like if you did and comment down below what was your favorite part about the video. As I said before, don't forget to subscribe for more. Maybe check out my Instagram, my username is right here, and I'll leave a link below as well. Until then, keep creating, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.